Have you watched this show? It's so interesting. I've been hooked onto it ever since I've started watching it. You must watch it. I guess you've all been a part of such dialogues or situations where a friend or a colleague might have said this to you, maybe while you were having coffee with them or dinner. This is something so common for us because we all are social beings and we enjoy not only watching shows but also enjoy talking about them. That's something that is so entertaining to all of us. While we get entertained, while we allow ourselves to, analyze, scrutinize, and discuss all of this, it's also important to remember that how we are getting influenced by these shows. On that note, I actually wanted to talk about something that I in particular remember for a while now, and I thought that I must share this with you. Maybe that might become, a point of conversation the next time you're sharing a cup of coffee with a colleague of yours or a friend of yours. Hi, I'm Ruchi Bukai, a psychologist and founder of EduPsych, a psychotherapy platform that helps you connect with your therapist and begin your healing journey with them. And today, just like yourself, I'm here to talk about a show that I had watched and I couldn't stop thinking about, a thing that they had represented. The show in question over here is The Family Man. And I'm here to talk about how therapy was represented in the show. But before I talk about what was the representation like and whether it was good or bad, I definitely want to extend my gratitude to the makers of the show for including therapy in their storyline. In the show, we see a couple reach out to a therapist when they start experiencing relationship issues. And it's so good to see that. It's actually relieving. It's actually a step forward for anyone in a relationship. Be it marital relationship or be it a romantic relationship or an unmarital one or a premarital one, whichever you want. Many a times we see that we start experiencing some issues that we are unable to deal with on our own, that we find become a roadblock for us or hurdles that start creating difficulties in our relationships. And sometimes we don't really know how to deal with them or what to do about it. Well, not to worry, there are experts out there, relationship experts who can help you with it. We also have many relationship experts at EduPsych as well. So if ever, firstly, I hope not, but if ever you require any kind of help, you can reach out to any one of them. Again, thank you so much, the makers of The Family Man, for including therapy in your storyline. Now, coming to how it was represented in the show. Firstly, in the show, we see there is a therapist who tends to advise his clients a lot. In reality, this is not something that happens in a therapy setting. A counselor is not required to, trained to, or it's not ethical as well for a therapist to advise you. They don't have the authority to advise. So all the unsolicited advices and the way it was represented in the show is actually incorrect. So over here, I am actually calling out to everyone who might have been on the receiving end of something this miserable, and to everyone practicing in the mental health care industry. If you've done this, then I urge you to put a hard stop on it. Secondly, in the show, we see the therapist choose to push his clients even when they are feeling uncomfortable and they are not willing to even talk about it. In reality, this is not how therapy looks like. A counselor is someone who walks with you in your journey. You are the narrator of your story. You are the central point. You are the protagonist. So the entire therapy setting is client focused, is client centric, and you would never find your therapist pushing you, stepping on your boundaries. But this show chose to do that maybe for entertainment purposes. Maybe they wanted to tickle a funny bone of yours. And honestly, that's not something that helped us in any which ways. While we are trying to spread awareness through our firm EduPsych, as well as we are trying to eradicate the stigmas associated with mental health care, a show that comes along and then represents therapy in this format proves to be quite dismissing and very, very poor in taste. But if you've been on the receiving end of something of this sort, then honestly, this was very unfortunate. And let me assure you that this is not something that you will find therapists at EduPsych practice, or in general people practice, like therapists practice. This is not the norm. But if someone has done that, then I am urging them to reconsider their practice styles and make rectifications. Thirdly, in the show we see that the therapist ends up overcharging his clients because he gets irritated and angry at his clients. In reality, this is not how therapy setting works. When you go to seek a counselor's help and you are scheduling your appointment with them, you know what the therapist's fee is. It's either prepaid or postpaid. In either case scenario, the fee of your counselor or your therapist is fixed, and in no situation is your therapist going to overcharge you. But if you tend to extend your therapy timing or session timing, your therapist might bring that into your notice and might give you an option to either consider to reimburse or extend your session time by booking another appointment. But in reality, this is not how therapy looks like. So long story short, yes, we like to watch shows, yes, we like to talk about them, but it's also important to remember how it's influencing our thoughts and our decisions. If this show ended up making you not want to be in therapy, even if you are struggling and suffering, then let me assure you, this show does not really come close to what therapy looks like. If you have any questions with regards to what therapy looks like, feels like, and what's the procedure like, feel free to drop your questions and comments in the comment section below. And before I go, well, continue watching the shows that entertain you, and drop me a comment if you've come across a show that influenced you in a positive or a negative way, or maybe you are still thinking about it, and let's open up a conversation around that.